Hi, my name is Arjun Chaudhary, and welcome to Energize the Tech Revolution. Today, we have a very special guest amongst us. Floreal Villanova has over 15 years of experience in the solar energy industry. He began his career in France, working for 7 years as a sales representative on residential, commercial, and agricultural solar projects, and has developed megawatts project over his career. In 2018, he moved to the US and then Montreal, where he worked for a renewable energy product wholesaler. In 2021, he co founded Solutions Autonomy, a company dedicated to helping solar installers streamline their operations through innovative digital tools. Welcome to the show, Floreal.
Thanks, Arjun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Floreal, let us start off by learning a little bit about your origin. Which part of France are you from? And would love to learn also more about your educational background.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I'm from a city called Clermont-Ferrand. It's like really the middle of France. It's like if you draw a line between Paris and Marseille, it's like in the middle of the of this line. Um, I started my career into just like you said in 2010 in the solar industry. I didn't know anything about solar at that time, and I had like just a few years of sales in school. It's called like relationship and clients. So just started from there, and I discovered solar in 2010. I was like, whoa, that's nice. Let's see what it brings in the future. So yeah.
Amazing. In terms of your professional journey, Floreal, I understand that you've been working in solar project development for over 10 years before founding your company, Solutions Autonomy. Now, would love to learn more about, your entire professional journey and what was specifically about solar technology that got you excited. Like, why not wind technology?
Yeah. So I started my career as a sales rep, technical sales rep, and that's an important part in the solar industry because you need to be able to technically speak of the product. So for 7 years, I worked for a company in France called Système Solaire. So shout out to these guys. And for 7 years, I just basically my job was to meet individuals at their house, explain to them how solar works, to go on the roof carefully, of course, take measurement, shading, and explain to them how it works, and then make proposals and go from like the beginning to the end of the whole process. And then the last year at that company, I worked for with like farms to develop megawatt of solar on roof on farms, CNI as well. So just like I said, I didn't know anything about solar at the beginning. It's so technical. It's so hard to learn, but I did it and I found it so rewarding and so interesting. Like I don't find anything else than solar that's most coolest. I mean, you generating your own energy. That's really nice. So yeah, I think that's where like the spark started. And then just like you said, 7 years later, I moved out to Austin in Texas in the US because like the US was like a dream for me for personal reason, but professional reason as well. Because at that time, it was in 2018, so many things happen in the US regarding the solar industry. So I just stayed there almost a year. And then I moved out to Montreal in 2018. And Quebec is it's a different game in the solar industry. It's almost off grid. Only like off grid means not connected to the grid. So it could be RVs, it could be boats, cabin in the woods. And that was something new for me because in France, I used to work for the on-grid solar industry because the territory is pretty small. So we don't need off-grid, of course. But here in Quebec, it's a huge territory. So off-grid makes sense. So generating your own electricity without having to connect to any utilities. So yeah, 15 years of learning and learning. And this is not the end of it because like you learn every single day in the solar industry.
Amazing, Floreal. I can totally hear the passion in your voice about solar and excitement
Oh
for the
yeah.
solar field.
Could
Uh,
speak about it for like hours.
we have a lot of time, so feel free to share your voice there. Now, what were the challenges and the pain points that you were seeing in the market specifically that inspired you to start your own organization, Solution Autonomy? Would love to learn more on that.
Yeah, so I think the starting point was over the years, I've seen that sizing project, especially for off-grid project, it's pretty hard. You need some expertise, some experience, and solar industry is a pretty young industry actually. Uh, for example, in France, it started like only 15 years ago. That's not a long time for an industry. And at the same time, you have that digital era, sorry. And we're like, okay, we need more digital tools in the solar industry to help any kind of solar installers or wholesalers or whatever to embrace that rapid growth of the industry. And they most of them they need tools like that because here in Quebec we have a huge problems called like the labor shortage for any kind of industry, but especially in the solar industry. So digital tools can help them how to figure out how to manage better their day to day. So like I said, over the years, it was like that idea was just growing up and growing up. And then I met my associate, Theo. We became friends at first and we were coworkers. And then when the pandemic hit, we were like, okay, maybe now is the time. Now is the right time. That was for both of us, our first business. We're like, okay, let's try and just bring our experience, our expertise to more people, to, a broader, larger audience. And we're like, okay, it's a guess. Let's take it. And so far, it's been pretty good for us. So that's why, yeah, we decided to create software, innovative software for the solar installers across Quebec, but Canada as well.
Amazing, Floreal. So let's dive a little bit deep into your product. So
Mhm.
at the moment, like how many softwares are you offering to your customers? And is your customer specifically solar installers?
So right now we have two products. The first one called Autonomy PV is an off-grid solar sizing tool. Instead of using Excel sheet to size complex project for RVs or boats again or cabin, we develop a real software where you have like a database. The solar installers can choose the product they install. It does all the calculation, protection, so on and on. And the second one, it's called Autonomy DX. Um, I can talk about it in two ways. You can say it's a solar calculator that solar installers can use on their website for their clients to just go through for a pretty straightforward form, but to help them figure out what their solar project would look like regarding the space on the roof, the orientation, the inclination, so all that kind of stuff. And on the other side, the solar installer has access to his own dashboard where all the lead comes up and he can manage everything from here because all the calculations are pre-made from for him to really shorten that first step between him and his clients. But you can also say it's a white label solar lead qualification platform. So long sentence, I like to say it's a solar calculator to help the individuals who figure out if their solar project makes sense. And on the other side, the Solar Pro can manage the first step easily than his current process. So yeah, that's Autonomy DX.
That's great to hear, Floreal. Could you share some like examples of customer success stories of using your product?
Yeah, there are the funny thing is there are so many different type of solar installers. So you asked me twice, but I haven't answered that. These software are made for, of course, solar installers, but it could be resellers, it could be wholesalers as well, or even manufacturers. Um, the funny thing is they all different. They size their project differently. They can target different people. They have a small team, no team at all. They are like just one man company. So I have so many example. I have a company called Alternative Solaire here in Quebec. Luc and his wife Cindy, they specialized on RVs, and it helped them to save so much time to figure out, okay, what do you need to power a new RV? Have you think of that? Have you thought of that? So it saved them like dozens of hours of work. But at the same time, you can have like bigger company with like, 10 to 15 to 20 people in the team. It's the example of a company called Altenergy, north of Quebec. They are a fast-growing company, and they really needed automation tool, to support their growth. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, every single year they generate between 300 and 400 leads through the platform on their website, which is pretty nice because all the pre-calculation are made. So again, hundreds of hours saved, because the real problem again here in Quebec is the labor shortage. This is so hard to find people, even not trained, just to keep them. It's really hard, and especially if you train them for like 2 years and then they left you, it's like, oh wow, that's pretty hard. So software don't leave you. So that's a nice part.
That's amazing to hear. For always nice to hear, customer success stories and how, digital tools and products is helping, solve problems of customers. So great to hear that. And
Yeah, and the thing is, I think it's important what you say here, the relationship between our users, customers, and our company, because we like to use the word co-development. It means that we help them to help us, like, or the other way around. Like when we develop a new feature, we don't do it for us, we do it for them. So the first step is you have to ask them what they want or what they need. And our job is to figure out what's the best solution for them and how we can create something new to help them on their day to day. So yeah, the human side of it is really important for us, even if we are a software company.
totally, Floreal. That's a great philosophy there. Now, Floreal, in terms of, company's future vision and strategy, where do you see your company heading? Are you looking to expand your product portfolio, expand your market base, and where do you see like future solar, technology trends going as well? Would love to learn your thoughts on that.
Wow, there are so many things going on right now, especially in Canada and even more in Quebec, because as you may know, Hydro-Quebec, the utility here, made some announcement 2 weeks ago that next year they'll open the market to the on-grid side. Right now, it's the electricity here in Quebec is so cheap that it doesn't really make any sense to go just solar on your house. It would be like an ROI of like 15 to 18 years. That's a lot. But next year there will be some grant. We don't know anything about it yet, but so definitely open up the market. So we are, of course, pretty close to that. We keep developing new features, on grid, off grid, hybrid. Today, AutomeDX, the solar calculator, is made for off grid, on grid, and hybrid, or even storage only, because this is something quite popular here. And I'd say the third step, we are now expanding across Canada. We have a few clients in Europe, but here we know how every single province is different from one another. So yeah, we're targeting a few of them, and yeah, we keep growing as a company and as people as well, of course, as human. Um, Regarding the industry and what I'm looking for the next years, again, so many things, man. Like, of course, talking about software, you have to talk about AI. That's a huge part of it. We have to be careful with that because just using AI, name just like that, but as a buzzword, doesn't make any sense. Is that how are you using AI in a real like day-to-day situation? How you can help your clients with that kind of technology? Um, and regarding maybe the hardware part, uh, what I like is because I speak to my customer every single day. I have that link again with the field, so they bring me like all the new kind of stuff they use to install solar panels, battery, or inverter, whatever. I think one of the main thing right now is the all-in-one products. Like you have the charge controller, you have the inverter, and you just plug everything into it. It's a huge save of time for solar installers. Definitely, they really like that. So, of course, I'm just taking a look onto that. Uh, of storage as well. We know that, in California or even in Quebec, we've been using storage for like more than 20 years. So we have many installers here that have huge experience on that. But now with the Hydro Quebec announcement, we'll see solar plus storage, and it's an exciting time to be in the solar industry. So just like I said, I've been here for like 15 years, but you never get bored and you learn every single day.
For sure. Thank you so much for sharing that, Floreal. Truly exciting times for the
Yeah.
solar industry. And now we're coming here to our final few questions. You've been such a successful leader in the solar space. For somebody who's looking to establish their career in the solar industry, what are maybe like the top three skill sets that you would recommend they build upon to be successful in this field?
Huh, that's a good question. Um, I'd say maybe be humble. If you start in the solar industry, don't think you already knows everything because again, I've been here 15 years. I don't know everything. So team up, uh, build your network, and I could give that same advice to any other kind of industry or people. But build a network, try to team up. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Definitely, because we are dealing with DC electricity. It's pretty it's pretty dangerous. So as soon as you make a mistake, could be a huge mistake with some consequences. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Uh, Look up online on there are so many resources online. To those like video YouTubes and articles and even in our website. And we also do a podcast. Maybe we'll talk about that, but get the info. It's free. It's online. That's nice. Just be careful on where you are trying to get that information because sometimes, it's not like the good information at the good place. And get trained. Try to reach out to your solar provincial solar associations to see what the requirements are in your territory. So yeah, search, let's say learn, and team up.
Makes sense, Florial. Would there be any specific like certification would you recommend, solar individuals attain, and any kind of specific like industry conference you recommend they attend?
So regarding the certification, that's kind of tricky because, if we talk about Canada, you have like many provinces. Right now, for example, in Quebec, there are like none. So that's pretty hard. Um, Again, reach out to like Canaria. There are resources online. It's the Canadian Renewable Energy Association. You'll have some tools. I know that in Alberta, you have Solar Alberta. You'll find all that certifications or help. Uh, the US are more developed on that side. They have like the NAPCEP, of course, this kind of certifications. So yeah.
Thank you, Florian. And lastly, you
Oh,
mentioned.
maybe just one. You asked me that again, but maybe the solar show where if you are in this industry, you need to be. It's ETC, Electricity Transformation Canada. It's every single year in October. The past year it was in Calgary, and this year it will be in Toronto. I think it's you guys will look it up online, but it's 2 and 3 October, I think, the second and the third. That's really nice. It's growing bigger and bigger. We've been there for like the past 3 years, and it really helped us out grow. So if you're looking for a meeting and connecting with the solar industry, be there at Toronto in October. You also have the Solar Atlantic in Halifax. I think it's in December as well. But we're waiting to have more trade show like that across the country.
Thank you, Florial. So, your company would be having a booth or in the
Yes, sir.
electricity
Yeah, I
transformation?
think by memory again, I think it will be the booth 1 or 6, but you know, I'll come back to you on that.
Okay, okay, great, Florial. And lastly, you had alluded to the fact that you have a podcast and a YouTube channel. Would love to learn more about that. And is it in French or in English?
Absolutely. We started our podcast called Solar. Oh man, Solar Warrior Fighting the Dark Side. Sorry about that. And we started that podcast a year and a half ago. And it's really on the side of autonomy solutions. We don't talk about our any of our solutions. We just every single month we invite a solar professionals to talk with him about any solar related subject. So we went through like the off-grid solar history. We talked about the state of solar in Quebec. We talked about solar in politics. So every single month we just tackle some question regarding the solar industry, and this is something we wanted to do for a long time now. It takes some time because it's like just like I said on the side of our company, but this is so important because we don't talk enough about the solar installers. They have a huge experience, a huge expertise. Here in Quebec, they've been some of them have been working in this industry for like 20 to 25 years. Like that's a lot. That's really a lot. And we don't hear from these guys, and they are incredible. So we just wanted to, give them the mic, let the light shine on them, and we're pretty happy right now. Takes some time, but I think it's rewarding when any individuals or even solo pros just cross my path. It's like, hey, I've seen that episode, I really like that, and it's like, okay, do you have an idea about the next one, maybe? So that's how we work.
Amazing. That's a very noble and exciting initiative that you've launched,
Thank you.
Floreal. So that concludes the formal portion of our interview for today. We like to end our podcast with a fun segment called a rapid fire, where our
Mhm.
viewers and listeners get to learn a little bit more about the personal side of our guests. Now, as part of this rapid fire, I'll be asking you three quick questions. So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Great. So, firstly, Floreal, as this is a tech podcast, would love to learn what's your favorite app or a hardware product that you enjoy using?
Regarding the software app, I'd say Notion. It's like all-in-one workspace. So to help efficiency on my day-to-day, that's insane. And on the hardware part, there is a tool I love to use years ago. It's called the Sunmetric Suneye. It's a tool that is designed for assessing shading on the roof of individuals or even pros. And I used to work with that machine for so many years, and was my best friend on the field. So yeah, maybe I'd say Notion and the Symmetrics and I.
Great, Floreal. Secondly, what's a book that you have read that has had a big impact on your life and why?
I'm a pretty big reader. I'm a sci-fi guy. And years ago, maybe 8 to 7 years ago, I read Dune. It's not an easy book to start, but then I was stuck in that book. And what I really like that is because you have these people on that desertic planet, and they worship water. Like the slightest drop of water is like something really important, and it really resonating with me as a like human being on Earth. And we face the same problems. It can be water, it can be energy, it can be anything. So yeah, my sci-fi side and my renewable energy side just meet up on that book.
Great, great, Floreal. And lastly, do you have any final words of wisdom, perhaps a short story or a quote that you'd like to share with members of our audience?
Yeah. Again, it was like maybe now 20 years ago. I read a book. To be honest, I can't remember the title of that book, but there were just that first line on that book on the first page saying, "Never look down on someone unless you're helping them out to move out." It was like, whoa. And I was like literally a kid, a teenager. I was like, I could see, the image of and that what it meant not to look down on someone and just help them out. I'm a kind of a empathic guy a lot, so this is something that stayed with me over the years. So yeah, and many times a week, there's just that sentence in my mind that I like, and then like that more people would be maybe like that, especially during these times.
Thank you, Floreal. So that concludes our interview for today. How can our viewers and listeners get in touch with you?
Pretty simple. Going to LinkedIn, Floreal Villanova. I'm be happy to continue the discussions. or our website, www.solutions-autonomy.com, our YouTube channels, or yeah, I'll be happy to, answer any question you guys can have.
Well, thank you so much, Floreal, for being on the show today. It was an absolute honor and pleasure having you. And
My
thank you
pleasure.
so much for sharing your subject matter expertise in the solar industry. From the team at Energize, wishing you and the entire team of Solutions Autonomy lots of growth and lots of success.
Bye.
So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our episode for today. And remember, a greener future is in our hands. I'm Arjun Chaudhary.